How's it going, YouTube? Today we are out in the garage again and we are working on the Bronco. What we're doing is we're going to get ready to change out the spark plugs. So we have our Motorcraft spark plugs here. They looked up and it is, I believe these are 578s. So I would get Motorcraft if you're running them on an Ecoboost. From all the research I've done, it sounds like NGK actually makes these for Ford, so there's a lot of NGK fans out there. I have never had a problem running these plugs. Now, 2021 Bronco, I only have 38,000 miles on it, closing in on almost 39. Why am I changing my plugs? Well, I have a few things done to it. So I've got the air filter, I have K&N charge pipe, I've got a tuner, I have, if you're going to be able to see it, I have a much larger intercooler. I run either premium, 91, 93 when I can get it, and then even E30 sometimes on occasion as well. So when you're mixing different gases, when you're not always getting the most high quality, and even when you're just using and running a forced induction, a turbo setup, I mean, I know this is stock turbo, but a turbo motor, it's important to always have good spark plugs in. What I have found in the past running other EcoBoost motors is the plugs seem to start to get fouled up around 30 to 40,000 miles. So 38,000, I'm towards the end of that. The other day I went to go get on it and I actually could feel the hesitation. So sometimes what you will experience is hesitation under heavy load. So maybe you're flooring it onto the interstate and it's uphill, and it just feels like it's not all there. Maybe you get a pulsing, maybe you get a check engine light that comes on and it's just flashing. Those are all signs of a misfire, so it's worth it to put new plugs in. So Motorcraft plugs, again, there's a part number for a 2.7 liter Ford Bronco, and these were 44 bucks for all 6. I got them on Amazon. You can get them usually at O'Reilly's. Pretty readily available, pretty easy to get quickly. So where are the spark plugs? Well, a lot of people think these engine bays are super ugly, but what I love about EcoBoost is for the most part, they're pretty easy to work on. So you have 6 coil packs right on top, very easy to get to. I have already kind of started getting into this because I was unsure about a part. So what do you need to do? You have these connectors where they're connected into each coil pack. So what you need to do on each one is you flip this lever down so you have more weight exposed, and then you just pull it off. Well, sorry, wasn't clicked all the way. I'm sure you heard that click. Pull it off. So you do that for each one. Get them all off of there. So this side is exposed. Next, you need to get, there's all these little zip ties that are holding this wire loom up here. So you have to pull those off. Now, on a lot of them, I had to take needle nose pliers, put them on the inside to get grip and pull them up. Same on this back one. And then this one actually had a zip tie around it like that, holding the wire to it. And I obviously cut that off because I cannot get this one off. This is on the passenger side. So I cut the zip tie, I got myself some room, and then I can unscrew it. So there. So now I have my coil packs fully exposed. Next, you're going to need an 8mm. Oh, and mine's on the other side. So you need an 8mm. I'm using my trusty 1/4 inch set. And you need to break loose all of these bolts holding the coil packs on. Now, coil packs are not considered a wear item. Sometimes they fail. I mean, everything breaks, right? Sometimes they fail. On our F-150, around 160,000, we had one or two that did just start to misfire and go bad. I changed the plugs. That seemed to help. But the boots and things on these do wear out. And I'll show you all of that. And also, make sure you don't drop these screws. And this is not ideal to do one-handed. So you're going to twist this out. Hopefully. Okay, so you have studs like this on each coil pack. So put this somewhere where you're not going to lose it. And again, oh, that one I guess I got out already. Ford likes to use plastic valve covers. So if you're having trouble getting any of these wire, I guess I could call them like a wire nut, the zip tie type fastener off for the cables, don't pry against this. That's plastic. So don't pry against that. You don't want to crack it. You also don't want to over tighten those studs when you go to put these back in. So next you are just going to pull out your coil pack. So this is it. So you want to, when you change these, look at all the rubber, make sure it's in good shape, and then you can mix these around. It doesn't really matter. I always try not to. I try and keep them where they were, just in case there ever is an issue. Then I don't have to assume I just put things in wrong. And there you go. So in 7 minutes, we have half of it taken apart. And a lot of that time I was showing you what to do. So now you're going to need your 5/8 spark plug socket and an extension and a ratchet. So you will just, I need a way longer extension. Still not quite long enough, but ugh. I like to just do one at a time. That way you don't have the engine opened up and you're knocking debris into the spark plug holes. I mean, you can certainly take and cover the holes with a nice dry cloth. I might have the wrong spark plug socket. I thought this was the magnetic one. It must not be. So I have, maybe I don't know where it is. There we go. Okay, so let's look at it under the light. So it doesn't look too terrible. There is definitely some carbon buildup, and if I can get this to focus, I mean, it's not perfect. It actually, it's a little brown. So yeah, I think it's definitely time for these to come out. So just in case you've never done this, here is what it should look like. Nice and shiny. Now it won't stay shiny forever. I could be wrong because this is not my expertise, but that looks like I'm maybe running a little bit lean. I think the darker it is, the more rich your mixture is. So I'm gonna have to be careful with how I have my JB4 set. And I also, it's still the middle of March. Make sure the spark plug is in here and you're not gonna drop it. It's the middle of March and I know we're still in winter blend. One more thing about the spark plugs is these are pre-gapped. So when you order them, you do want to check the specs on what you're ordering. to make sure that they're coming the right gap. Ford has a part number for everything. So for example, the 3.5 liter has a different spark plug number, but those are gapped at 0.31, and these are also gapped at 0.31. So you definitely don't want to leave that spark plug socket in there. Great, this is cool. Oh no. Well, this is what you came to watch, right? Me struggling with a simple task. Okay, so I don't think this is my magnetic one. That just has a typical rubber gasket in there. This just looks like it's missing a gasket. Yeah. And this one didn't work. Shoe. Alright. I will be throwing a little bit of tape around there so that this will hold together, because I don't want to have to deal with that. So obviously you just repeat this process and get all 6 spark plugs out. But I've got that in there. I got it tightened down. You don't want to go super tight. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on there. Make sure it is down all the way. Go ahead and the small side goes down. And I'm going to hand tighten this, and then grab my 1/4 inch and tighten it down. So overall, first time you do this, probably take you an hour. Second time you do this, probably take 40 minutes, 30-40 minutes. Again, this is what I like about Fords. They're typically pretty easy to swap out spark plugs on. I've had a couple versions of 3.5. I had one in a front wheel drive car, a Ford Flex, and then I've got the Ecoboost, or the F-150, and very easy to work on. Yeah, so get the second one out, see how this one looks. And you do want your plugs to all look pretty consistent. Of course I didn't get it out. I've also found that they don't recommend using thermal paste or dielectric grease on anything. That's what Ford says. So if you didn't notice I didn't put anything on there, that's the way Ford says it should be. Why can't I get this one out? Just wanted to be difficult. So it looks about the same. Yeah, I definitely think it was time for a spark plug change. Grab a fresh one out. And if these boxes are beat up or anything, a lot of times people, it doesn't hurt to check the gap, but one, I'm low in time, two, they all look pretty good. I've done spark plugs 100 times, I feel like. I'm obviously not a perfect gauge, but if the gap looked huge, then I might be concerned, but it looks not. Looks pretty tight, so I'm going to assume they're right. Go ahead and tighten this one down. Got my socket that time. Grab the coil pack. Slap that in there. Okay. There's nothing. The coil packs are actually like soft leading down to the spark plug. So you're not going to get like a click or anything when you have it in the right spot. Yeah. Okay. Again, two hands, this goes much faster. All right, tighten that down. And you really just need it to stay in place. So, doesn't need to be crazy tight. Something to be aware of though, after you change spark plugs a time or two, if you ever have rust streaks that are coming up here, that is a sign of possible boost leaks. And so the porcelain, if the porcelain has rust marks on it, that's the sign that you're possibly getting a boost leak. And so you do want to watch out for that on your next change, and just make sure that you do have these torques down enough. I mean, I should probably go with a torque wrench and do this, but I feel like I'm doing all right. And again, yeah, I'm gonna say that looks lean, but they do also look pretty similar, so I don't think that's any cause for concern. At least not too much. So last plug on the passenger side, and we'll get it all buttoned up. I do recommend you always hand thread these in to start. You do not want to deal with a cross-threaded spark plug. That is a very bad time. So get them started, and I go about until I can't tighten them anymore, and then just give them a little turn, pop it off. Coil, so this is what I mean. You're not gonna get like a firm click. That's just essentially a rubber tube with a metal conductor in the middle. So you do need to watch out, make sure you've got your wiring harnesses out of the way. Grab the last stud. Ooh, that was close. Don't drop it. Same with these, hand thread them in to start. Because they just go into a brass fitting like that. And if you strip those out, you're gonna buy in a whole new valve cover, and then you have to take way more apart. Okay, passenger side is put back together. Push these in. Connect all of the plugs. And then you push the white connector up. And then we're gonna push, oh, did I put that? Okay. So we have this plastic piece that had a zip tie going through it. It was threaded on here. Oop. Make sure it's not upside down. And I need to go grab a zip tie for this. Okay, so you're gonna just string, and of course I did it upside down. So you can kind of see what that looks like. There's just enough room to string a zip tie in the underside of it. Try and position it so you can kind of see. I just did it twice. Oh my god. Make sure your zip tie is the right way up. Alright. So you do want to make sure the wire loom is on there. I'm trying to find my snips. They're terrible. Okay. 3 plugs. Push these on. The passenger side is complete. Okay. So, on to the driver's side. Hopefully I can get this illuminated so that everyone can see. I'm gonna grab my spark plugs. Now, so I'm fairly tall. I'm 6'1", and I do need to stand on a stool to get to these. So on the back one, this hose is a little bit of a problem. There is a connector down here that I'm just gonna grab with my pliers and lift straight up. There's a connector right here. That one I popped off already, I guess. And then another one in the middle. Somewhere. This is a hard line. I don't know if I'm gonna have to remove it or not. So the other, oh, there we go, lifted straight up. So that wasn't actually that bad. This was actually, I don't have the clearance I did on the other side, but these were easier to get to. I'm just gonna, and I pushed that plug back on. I might have to pop this off. I think that's vacuum. All right, reach back in there. Holy cow. Yeah, this just needs to go. So, looks like I don't have the right tool. Need something to get under there. Yeah, there we go. Alright, a small flathead. And that didn't do anything. Oh. The sides actually pop up. And they break. Sweet. That's exactly what I wanted. God damn it. And the disintegrated. Cool. I don't know if you've noticed, this is a common pattern on my truck. None of these stupid lines like to stay on. Or the clips, they're all so great, and I still can't get it off. Ah, damn it. Well, I guess I'm going to just see, get it off without that. Now the question is that going to pop off going down the road? I should be able to get a little fancy with a zip tie and hopefully get it back on there. Well, get it stable. It's not coming off, I don't think. That one's off. So same thing, pop off your coil packs, pull out your spark plugs, and go from there. Okay, so this one, because of all the wires under there, this is a huge pain to get it back aligned straight. So just make sure you really take your time. I don't know, I didn't even think about it until just now. I don't know what the firing order is of this. It's not very important, but there we go, now I got it. You just have to get back here with both hands to make sure that you're easily threading in that spark plug. So yeah, I don't have any resistance, so that's good. You really don't want to cross thread this, because you'll be done. You'll have to figure out what a helicoil is and how much fun those are. Okay, last one in. 6 spark plugs up there, okay. Last coil pack. Fish this one in here. Hopefully. Yeah, this one just has, there's like a wire connector up there. And obviously I didn't have to undo this. It's still very clipped on there. I don't even know what the purpose of that green clip was. Try and get that in place. I can't even tell if I have this where it needs to be. It did not. You can just kind of spin the coil pack around until you feel that little stud fall into place. Get it tightened. Okay, now try and find all of your cables. Oh, get that plugged in. Next one. And wherever the last one's way up here now. Put this one in. Man. Okay. Put all of these wire loom caps over the studs. There you go. I'm going to I don't know how much that little green piece is going to do now. I'm going to wrap a zip tie around that, but that's it. 6 new spark plugs, 6 old spark plugs, don't need to hang on to these for any reason. I probably will, because hopefully in the next couple weeks I'll get over to Off the Line and go to their dyno, and I'm just gonna have them take a look at these, see what they think. They might be able to do a little bit of tuning themselves with the JB4. I'm not sure. I don't have high hopes there, but I want them to look at it, and that might give them some indicators of some things that could be done. So, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me as I break things on my truck so that you don't have to. And as always, like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.